How would you like to make your first million today? We have Ofer Lidsky with us, and he is the founder of Excellent Brain. I love the name of your company. And we would like to know, in your opinion, what are the 5 steps you recommend entrepreneurs in order to make the first million?
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
Well, I don't know if I have 5 steps, but I think it begins with inspiration. You have to get inspired to have a great idea, which is not similar to what the ideas that are currently in the market, to think out of the box. And then you must have a lot of motivation to start doing that. But the real part is the dedication, consistency. So from what I know from my experience, a lot of founders and entrepreneurs, they quit too soon. And you actually should never quit. You should keep going, although there are sometimes great challenges and hard times, but you must keep going and believe in yourself. And I think that is the road to success. There is a very known saying that sometimes you quit like a meter before your big jump, but when you quit, the game is over. So you should never quit. Continue to believe in yourself, do the work, consistency, dedication, that will bring the results. And there is no success overnight. It always takes a long time to reach success. And this is why you have to be very patient, and the belief should be there always, even if you have big challenges like every entrepreneur has along the way.
So your business survived for more than 10 years, which is actually really rare. You started your business in 2015. You shared with me the broadcast. So what are the secrets to keep the company alive for so long?
Well, it's doing the expansion in the right way and bringing the right team members, because each company is made out of people, and to stay in good human touch with your colleagues, employees, partners. Think out of the box, because if you do the same, you will have the same results. And if you start to think out of the box and you try different stuff, you get other results. And so it's always to keep inventing yourself. Use technology in the right way. We now in the boom of AI, everybody is using AI, and I read the statistics. 95 of the companies that use AI didn't produce any remarkable results. So you have to use the right technology, measure the results, and be as professional as possible, and really use the right partners to scale up. And for example, Excellent Brain is currently in the stage of big scale up to being worldwide. We are selling in about 15 countries, and we want to reach many more countries. And that's a lot of work. This is doing marketing and sales in different countries, languages, and it's complex, but you have to know how to solve complex problems to succeed.
Oh, you mentioned several times scaling up, right? And let's talk about leadership, because when you have a business, okay, and you are an startup founder, all you want to do is just you have a product, you sell it, you make some money. That's it. But now you need to find out that if you want to scale up, and like that you're building a global brand now, so you take it from local to a global brand. We have done something similar with the speakers and leaders, so and we understand the process. Uh, Now you have to become a leader. Not only become a leader, but also develop leadership in the organizations. Okay, so you have someone that is representing you in London or in United States. They have to be able to talk about your product if it's for you. So But you didn't sign up for that. When you started your business, nobody told you that you have to be a leader, that you have to become a leader, that you have to inspire leadership to do it. You didn't sign up for that. You signed up to, I have this product, I sell it, I make some money, that's it. So when do you realize that, oh my God, if I really want to grow, I need to learn about this leadership thing, then I didn't sign up for it. And if I don't do that, I will never be able to grow. When do you realize this?
So I have to tell you a secret. Every person is a leader of their life. Now it begins in leading your own life. And then leadership goes outside to the world. And difference do you make to the world itself? And it's true, every entrepreneur is performing leadership because he has to enroll people after his idea, and he has to lead people and sometimes different teams in different countries. And I think that everyone should start, first of all, by leading themselves, learn about leadership, and then practice leadership, and then really manifest that to the outside world, to your team, to the other country's team, and so forth. And leadership is all about making a good difference to the world.
And so tell us your story, why you decide to become an entrepreneur, and
I
about your
think I was
product and about excellent brand. What is it? We would love to know more about it. So how you
sure.
decide to become an entrepreneur and this business that you have? Tell us what it's about.
So I think I'm an entrepreneur since I was a kid. I got my first computer when I was 7 years old, started programming. By the age of 12, I worked in the first job in a computer company. By the age of 16, I was a freelance programmer. And by the age of 20, I opened my first company. I'm 53 today. So I have a lot of experience going back and always in the domain of technology and science. And about 15 years ago, and I also like to research myself, and I learn all the time. Since I was a kid, I don't stop learning science and technology every day. About 15 years ago, I found out that there are really cool devices which are called EEG sensors that you can buy and connect your brain to the computer. And this field is called brain-computer interface. And I bought a few of these sensors, started to learn about it, and then I found out that there is a brain training method that exists for many years and nobody heard about it, and its name is Neurofeedback. And I started studying neurofeedback, and I even went to the university and studied about it, and I understood that there is a very big here. It's a brain training program that can really make a difference in the domain of ADHD. And on parallel, my son was on special education, which was very challenging. Then one day I connected the dots. I told myself I can build something here which will make neurofeedback affordable, accessible, and usable to almost anyone. And that was the beginning of Excellent Brain in 2015. I established the company with a clear vision to make a difference in the world of ADHD, which is one of the biggest problems of education today.
The coming back to this, out of the 500 millionaires that we interview in this podcast, 1 out of 5 are tech entrepreneurs. So we have more than 100 millionaires tech entrepreneurs that have been in this podcast. But is that easy? Is that easy to become a millionaire in tech? Can you tell us the good, the bad, and the ugly? You've been in this for a long time now, since you're 20 years. So is really that easy? Or why do you think that we have that proportion coming to this podcast? 1 out of 5 are real estate investors that come to the podcast, but also 1 out of 5 are tech entrepreneurs. So the vehicle seems to be a good vehicle to build wealth, but tell us the truth. What is the good, the bad, and the ugly of the tech of a tech entrepreneur? Especially someone like you, they say tech entrepreneur and is around for a long time because tech is very volatile.
Easy, it's not. Actually, it's very, very hard. You really have to go and prepare for a long walk like that. And but the good side is that technology is something wonderful and fascinating. And once you really get and invent a good idea, and it's based on real technology, you have a big leverage because you have something to really manifest, grow yourself. So I think that the ugly part is that it's very hard to be an entrepreneur and to grow a company and to deal with employees and challenges and banks and loans and whatever. And the hard part is raising funds, getting investors to invest in you, because you have to really prepare the company and bring it to a stage that the investor will be interested. And the fun part is to really manifest your idea. It's fascinating to invent something and then it's like a baby. It's born to the world and people use it and you help improve people's lives. So the satisfaction there is really very.
So it's my understanding that Israel, when you base, is a good tech hub, and there is a space there that you have over there. You guys have a lot of tech businesses, and then you have funding, and kind of the government of the country or the institution out there, they facilitate some frameworks for tech and entrepreneurs, and therefore you do you think that you got lucky that you're a tech entrepreneur and you are in Israel, and that also help you out a little bit? Because of course, if you are in a tech business and you're in Silicon Valley, or you might be better off that you are in the tech business and you are in Texas. You know what I mean? So, do you think that you have any advantage to be tech entrepreneur to be in Israel, or it's really still hard?
It's a very good question. So let's say that I would prefer to be in Silicon Valley. Israel is not such an
How
easy
come?
country.
How come? It's a lot of funding out there. It's my understanding for tech
It's
businesses. It's good.
it's true that Israel used to be, I'm not sure if it is anymore, it used to be called the startup nation. Israelis, they are very inventive. We have a lot of great companies who grew from Israel that changed the world, like Waze and Checkpoint, and really big companies with high-tech technology. And there's a lot of high-tech startups in Israel. But in the past few years, it has become a lot more hard to be in Israel. You probably heard about it. A lot of wars, a lot of problems. It's not an easy place to live in. And I'm sure it is easier in the Silicon Valley, that's for sure. But still, Israelis are very inventive. They know how to solve complex problems. And
How about funding? How about funding?
so,
I thought that was it was a lot of support in terms of funding or accelerators and things like that for tech space. Is it still there, or have
it's
gone a
less
little
than
bit?
before. It's less than before. But compared to the size of the country, there is a lot of traction to Israel. A lot of investors. We are a very
Yeah,
small country, and compared to the size of the country, it's amazing what's happening here.
okay. So now, taking a business from local to global, what are the biggest challenges that you have, and how you overcome that challenge?
So I think there are a few challenges. First of all, the big trick is to make it work and then scale up. So once you have a system that is working in one country, in two countries, in three countries, and you see that you have a success and it's working, you have a system. And now you have to scale it up. The big challenges, it's that every country is different. There is a different language, different culture, different pricings, and so on. So you have to really adjust everything compared to the country, because, for example, your pricing model in Germany cannot be the same pricing model like in Bangladesh, right? These are completely different countries, pricing and socioeconomic place. So you really have to consider a lot of factors when you scale up. But as I said, if you have a
And
working system,
maybe the type of client also. Maybe in Bangladesh the client could be government. And
sometimes, yeah.
maybe in Germany, maybe you can sell it direct to consumer because they can afford it, right?
For example, yeah, for example. So it's also the model. But I think that the really big thing is to have a working system, because once you have a working model, which succeeds, you know you can duplicate it to more and more markets. That's the baseline, I think.
And then of it, the other thing is like I remember when we went to Singapore, the everything was so organized. I remember they were very respectful, very organized, and in our workshops, speakers and leaders, we put a lot of music and we're really loud, you know. And the people told me, Harry, you see this party that you do it in London in your workshops? They're gonna hate it in Singapore. I'm like, what? And yeah, exactly. I started the workshop and so loud, and they're like, wow, what is this? So we understand that we need to still we got
Adjust.
them all
You
to
need to
dance.
adjust.
Yeah, we got them all dancing and everything, but it's not as fast as we put it in London or Latin America, which is, you know, that
Yeah,
quickly they're
yeah.
having fun. And so every country, and I remember when we went to Dubai as well, right? So you have to, I'm a very huggy person. I'm always hugging everyone, all my attendees and everything. But there, you know, when you're in the Middle East and things like that, right? You, especially with women, things like this, you have to keep the distance. You cannot be as hugging as a different culture. So I have to learn. I had to learn when we go to a new country. I had to learn about the culture. I had to learn how to I can adjust the things that we do to every country. Okay,
Exactly.
and it's interesting because our mission is to get the product globally. So now, regarding this, I think that your product it make the playground fair for everyone because is those students they don't learn more because they are not paying attention. But now everybody's paying attention. It's a
Yeah.
more fair system for everyone. Tell us a little bit more about the social responsibility side of your business.
Sure, sure. That I think the most important thing. So as I said, I established Excellent Brain with a clear vision to make a difference for people with ADHD to improve their lives. Now we have to make a clear distinction between the decline in attention for people in the past 20 years because of technology. We all have a decline in our attention ability because of WhatsApp and TikTok and smartphones and social media and all this information that we have to go through each day, and ADHD. ADHD, much more severe disorder, and it's much
Ofer,
harder.
can you break it down HDAD what's it stand for? Because some of our
Sure,
listeners maybe
sure.
they don't know the terminology.
ADHD is attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, and it is one of the biggest problems of education today. Usually kids, they get diagnosed by the second or third grade because they don't comply with their class cognitive performance. It takes them more time. It's hard for them to concentrate. They are too hyperactive to sit down for 45 minutes at class. And they really have a big challenge to go through school. So what we developed is a neurofeedback system that trains the attention span and reduces hyperactivity. And you do the training twice a week for 20 minutes. You sit in front of the computer with a sensor on your head. The sensor measures your brain waves, transmit it to the computer, and then you play a few games. It looks like a game, but it's not a game. It's brain training disguised as a game. So for example, you have a car on the screen. You concentrate with your brain. You don't use the mouse or the keyboard. You concentrate. The car starts to drive like a Jedi from Star Wars. And when you're out of focus, the car will stop. And you understand that you went out of the zone, you bring yourself back, the car starts to drive again. And you do that for 20 minutes, twice a week, for 30 sessions. So it takes about 15 weeks to do a training program. And this changes people's lives. We have seen kids that improved all their grades in school and really change their life. They can sit now in class, they can listen better, they look to the teacher in their eyes and really listen, and they have much more patience and attention. And this is like a present for life because it stays for a long time, usually a few years. And it's like, it's something amazing to see how it can help people improve their lives.
So the let's talk about experiential learning, which is something actually that we talk about a lot in universities, right? Because
Yes.
we are aware of the problem, okay? And now let's go a little bit technical. And with the education system, what we discover is that the people learn in three ways. They could be auditories, visual, or kinesthetics. And but the issue is that the education system is more auditory, right? So basically, the teachers speak, and if your best way of learning is auditory, for example, my brother speak 5 languages, so he's always on top of the class because when you talk to him, his learning way, the most easy way for him to learn is the auditory system. For the other hand, I'm visual. I need to see colors, images. You can see my background is really crazy. It's because I'm a visual person. Some people show up to a podcast and say, wow, can you stop this behind you? I can't because I'm a visual person. I need to have colors. I need to have things moving. And a friend of mine, which is in London, in and Cambridge, right? He has twins. And he told me, Harry, they only have 30 seconds difference. They both learn in different way.
Wow.
They don't learn in the same
So
way.
I think you
So
are now talking on a very important issue. I
exactly. So
think that,
tell us a little bit more, Ofer, okay? How can we your system, okay? How because clearly is helping the other kids. Or so the question really is the deficit attention disorder, ADHD, the fundamental, are they really sick, or maybe it's the education system are showing the content in a way that they cannot absorb it? Tell us a little, you've been 15, a lot of years in the business.
well, it's both. Attention deficit hyperactivity disorder is a real disorder. These are people that their brain works a little bit different than a regular brain, and they really have a difficulty to focus and concentrate for a long time. So they have to train their brain. So this
I'm
is
one
a
of
real
these,
thing.
by the way. Me, I'm one of the actually the podcast doing for 45 minutes for me is a success. Yeah. And it's such, yeah. And I finish exhausted after this. I love it because I meet amazing people like you. But after today, for example, my podcast day, so I will do back to back like 6 or 7.
Wow.
Uh,
First of all, thank you for the compliment.
you're
Now the
welcome. You're
other
amazing.
important, thank you. The other important point is that you said, and it's highly important, there is a big problem worldwide in education systems. The education systems today in most countries, almost all of the countries, they work in the same way for the past 200 years. It's called the banking system. The teacher deposits information to the brain of the pupil, of the student. Now, in our days, where we have so much information and so many things, this has become a big problem, and education systems should change, but they don't really do that. But we can see a good example. In Finland, they changed the education system to a system called
Wow.
PBL, project-based learning. So
Oh,
what they
wow.
do is they do a project in class, and when they do the project, they learn different aspects. They learn about history, technology, mathematics, physics during the project. And now Finland, I think, is at the top of the world in the education systems. So I think we should learn
Wow.
from them and change the way people learn today.
Hmm.
But there is another important point I want to raise.
To make it
And
more democratic, right? Like, for
also, yeah,
example, I think your technology is making the more learning more democratic because although sometimes the people that the students that perform the best, maybe it's not because they are more smarter or more dedication. Maybe what is happening is that the content has
they're too
been
bored.
delivered to them.
It's too boring.
For me, I have
No,
a big
but
problem. I have a big problem in class in university also. I remember a teacher in the university. It's a story, yeah, true story, that used to come to and tell me, and I remember the whole class in university was laughing. And he was always telling me, Harry, what do you come here? What do you come to sit in this class? You sit here, you talk with your colleagues, you look at the window. Why you here? Sit down, don't come. And he was telling me, opposite the university, they were selling pizza. And he was telling me, Harry, you see, opposite, the people selling pizza making a lot of money. Why you sitting here? And go opposite, sell some pizza, make some money because you waste your time here. You come here, you sit here, and then you talk with your friends, you talk with
Yeah,
everybody,
yeah,
you look at the window, not paying attention, give me a lot headache in the class. And I remember the whole class was laughing.
of
So
course, of
it was
course.
a teacher telling
I can
me
imagine that.
it was fun. It was very funny. And I was telling, no, teacher, of course I want to learn. I want to learn. That's why I come here. I said, no, no, no. This is what you think, but when you sit here, you do everything less to pay attention to what I'm saying. And I
Yeah,
remember
yeah, I can
that.
understand you. You could have told him that he's very boring, and this is why
Mm,
you don't have
yeah, he
attention.
was talking, and a lot of it was very boring, and with the low voice and everything, it was so. I think that and we had spoken because I'm one of the victims of the system because exactly look 200 years ago still the education system is the same. I don't think if you see a cat 200 years ago and you see it now, I
Yeah,
think you will see the huge difference,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Huge.
right. Of course.
Anything that have 200 years of prod or
Well,
anything, you see
there is a
huge
reason for
development.
that. There is a
Yeah,
big reason for that. But I want to talk about a very important issue. Today, we are in the age of AI, and AI is booming. Everyone is using AI. And I think that AI is like a double-edged sword, because on one hand, it really helps in certain areas such as medicine, biology, and so on. A lot of places that it really can help humanity. But if you look at the kids today, they don't learn anymore. They have a smartphone with AI, and they don't have to learn anything. They don't have to remember anything. They don't have to understand anything. And I think this is
I
very
hear,
scary
I
looking to
hear
the
that they put
future.
in the sums. I hear that they put it in sums or the question in and then they get all the answers.
Yes. So let's look ahead a few more years. And I think this is very scary what is going to happen, because we will see kids that don't know nothing, because if you take their smartphone, they don't know nothing. They don't have the AI. And I think this is very scary for humanity, what's right
Mhm.
now.
My friend that studied with me in the university, she has twins also, and they are uh, they when put the homework to the kids, she's telling them don't use the calculator. Other you
Yeah,
say, and the kids are no, I want my calculator. Say no,
of,
not from home. You add it yourself, and you tell the kids already know that it's easy with a calculator. They don't want
yeah,
to.
it's the
They don't
same
want
thing,
to
but
think
much
how much.
worse.
They don't want to think how much is 3 plus 5. They just.
Exactly, exactly. This is a small case. Think about everything that AI does. It does the homework for you. You don't remember and you don't understand anything. You just read whatever he wrote to you, and that's it. And this could lead to a very problematic place, because the future of the planet is in the hands of the next generation, of the kids who will lead this planet after we are gone. And this is very scary.
Yeah, it become more complex because like that I hear about it that for example before you were playing chess against the computer. Sometimes the computer wins, sometimes the
Yes.
human win. It's not anymore. So
Yeah.
now
Yeah.
the computer gets so smart that there is no way now that you can beat the computer. So
That's
in the
true.
same sense, in medicine, for example, okay, some illness that we have now, like cancers and things like that, that have solutions, is estimated that because the AI keep learning and learning more and more and more and more, eventually all the solutions on the cure of all these illnesses that we have today in the very near future will be solved, not because us
Yeah.
humans find the solution, it's because AI technology become more smarter than our capabilities and find the solution by themselves. So that's something that could be positive, like you said. On the other hand, we need the humans to policies, to create governance, to handle the AI. And these
Yes.
humans, they need to have
Yes.
a high level of understanding what the technology can do, right? In terms of
Yes.
government, things
Exactly.
like this. So my colleague told me the other day that is putting the kids in one school that is Montessori, right?
Yes.
And which is a student, and they say, well, Harry, there is no screens. There's no screen policy in the school. I think that was great. Yeah, the idea. Then I talked to my dad. I said, look, they're going to make the kids stupid because if they don't touch a screen when they are next to other kids,
Don't worry. In the afternoon, they were
they
all
catch,
with the
that's
smartphone.
what I'm telling to my dad. He said, look, it's around there. They will get it anyway.
Of
Even if
course they will.
at home and in the school, there is no technology, anything. The second that they go to a birthday party, to wherever, that they are outside the framework, he's
Exactly.
going to gather with other kids, and the other kid quickly going to show them everything, how the
You're
thing works.
completely true. It's like that.
So we also had to work in the education with the parents also to understand, right? Like, because you can have the approach of my dad. So how come no tablet? As my daddy told
Yeah.
me, right?
Yeah.
It was not even a computer when he was a kid, and he told me, look, how come no screen policy? This is
Mhm.
a very stupid thing to do because the kids, they're gonna look stupid in front of other kids that they are with the table all the time. Also,
I
I
don't think
saw.
so. I think that's a great
I agree
idea,
with
and they
you.
are going
I
to
agree
really
with you.
learn stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So then, the other thing also, I saw a kid the other day that was they opened a magazine. I saw somewhere video online or something. They opened a magazine to the kid, and the kid is touching the page,
Yeah.
and the page is not turning, and the kid is looking at his finger like it's something wrong with his finger. So he's touching the page, and the page not moving, and then he's looking at his finger and touching the page and looking at his finger, like thinking, "What's wrong with my finger? Why I don't press and
Unbelievable.
the page?"
Unbelievable where we are. Yeah.
Yeah. Come back to your technology, which I think is fantastic. Anything that democratizes education, we are a big supporter for this. I've even have talks in the House of Lords in London. They give you a big clap. They don't do anything. Yeah. they so it's our as leaders, okay, to embrace a fair education system for everybody, so everybody have equal opportunity. Okay.
Completely.
And I
Completely.
think that the technologies like yours that open a more fair playground for the kids to learn, but it has to also combine with what we discussed today. Okay, sometimes it is we have the debate: if the student doesn't perform, who's guilty? The student or the teacher? I'm always saying it's not even the
The
student
system.
and the
The
teacher. The
system.
education system is the teacher need to follow a system and the student need
For
to
sure.
follow a system. So
For sure.
you go to the system, right? And I'm very impressed about this story that you share about Finland, right? And so Israel, tell us about your country when it comes to education. What is it?
Wow.
Are they
It's
open
very bad.
to?
Israel went down in the
Uh,
grades
oh
compared to
wow!
Europe. In the past 20 years, we went down and down and down. It's unbelievable. The
Do you
education
think that's because
system
of the
is,
use of AI and ChatGPT and all, AI and these things, or?
I think it's because of the governments that we had in the past years. And, I think they're giving enough attention to the importance of education. And for each country, the future of the country is in the hands of the education system.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
this is highly important
100%.
to understand, for sure.
100%. Uh, so I think that what can be done is you keep offering your product to as much people in the world as possible. I think this is a very
I'm on it. I'm on it.
social responsibility also business, which I love, and we discuss a lot about social responsibility in this podcast. I'm the big fan. So tell us, Offer, if it's possible to do something like you to make money and do good at the same time? And what message do you have for entrepreneurs out there that, they can have a business like yours with social responsibility where you can do good and make money at the same time? Because I think that no one would argue that if you have a kid that can pay more attention at the school and they can have better grades, is something that is good for society. I don't think that this is out of
Exactly.
discussion. So
So I
is it possible to do good and make money? Tell
Of
us more about
course,
this.
of course it is. I mean, I think that's the way. And I've been learning leadership for over 25 years. And being a leader is to create a new future that wasn't supposed to be there without you. You as a leader, you created that new future. And it's all about creating something good for the world. And I want to leave the listeners with one important distinction that I learned in leadership, and I think that's one of my basic laws to life, and it's called integrity. Now, integrity means honoring your word, and means that you will not be always able to keep your word, but you can always honor it and take full responsibility. And every one of us has our next level in integrity. Integrity is like a mountain without a top. You cannot be 100% in integrity. You will always have work to do on yourself and get better. And if you honor your word, this has to do direct influence on your performance and power in life, your word. So I really want the listeners, first of all, to learn about leadership and to learn about what I said about integrity. And if they really implement that into their lives, that can bring big changes and big performance to their lives.
So, Ofer, if someone is in love with this conversation, how people can find you, how the process works?
They can go to our website. It's www.excellent-brain.com. They can read about neurofeedback and they can contact me directly.
Thank you so much. It's been amazing. Really, really to meet you. I think you're great. And I wish you the best. Keep growing the company. Keep doing good and making money. What a wonderful thing to do, right? And for all of you following the podcast, you are in our next episode of Unstoppable How Brave Entrepreneur like Ofer Break that Wall.
Larry, thank you very, very much. It's my pleasure being on your show.
Bye for now.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.